Hope you've got your pens ready. We've got something great to draw today. In 10 minutes you're going to be able to draw, as promised, a spanner. Really interesting thing to draw. I'm only joking. Now, we did say a sloth, and that's what we're going to draw. In 10 minutes you're able to draw this, believe it or not. Okay, so you got your paper ready. We're going to start off with an oval around about there. In the middle, slightly up, if you've got an A4 sheet or whatever size sheet you've got. So I've sharpened my pencil and I've sharpened my pen. I've taken the lid off anyway. So we're going to do an oval shape. Just follow me as best you can. It might be a bit wobbly. I don't know. Don't be nervous. It's only a pen and a bit of paper. We can start again if it doesn't go right. So a nice oval shape, which is the head of our sloth. So it's a good start. We've drawn the head. Now on the top of the head we've got kind of a different coloured hairdo on the top. It's like a dark brown, so all it is really is like an M shape. It's got like a little point in the middle. If you can do that shape, and it's basically the letter M. And we're going to shade that in later. So around about in the middle of there, near the bottom of the chin or the bottom of the head, you do one of our little circles where you leave just a little bit to make it look shiny. We just leave that little bit. Now the eyes are really wide apart. So what we're going to do is do a little bit bigger than the nose, the circles again, with a little bit that you don't quite colour in, that leaves it nice and shiny. So now you've already got the face really. So that's really quick. I'll put little tufts on the top if you feel like doing that, or just leave them off, it's up to you. Now they've got kind of a mask. They've got kind of a mask around their eyes, so we're going to just loop a little shape around there. Doesn't matter if it doesn't join up with the sort of hairdo on the top. But this will become more obvious when you start shading it in. You just shade those bits or colour them. The body's like a beige or a light yellowy colour. Now we're going to have the curve of the body. It's actually going to be climbing a tree, this sloth. So we start from about there on the head. We do a nice U shape. Don't worry if you go too big or too short. We're only just trying this out. This is your first time. You know I've had a couple of attempts to try and make it nice and easy for you. So we'll do a C on the end there. Okay? So that's like the knee is bent. The knee on the leg is bent, and I try and get away with drawing as little as possible on a cartoon because I'm a bit lazy like that. So that's the leg, and it's bent because it's wrapped round a tree. You know, it sounds a really difficult thing to draw, a sloth with its arms and legs wrapped around a tree. And this is the edge of the tree. If you can just put this line down there, that isn't the end of the body, that's just the tree, because it's gripping onto the tree trunk. And I'm going to add these little bits here. We're going to carry on that tree down there. You can see where that line's going, that tree is going down there, so we'll pick it up just there and continue the line of that tree. So you can see the sloth's leg is in front of the tree trunk. Now we're going to put the rest of the tree here, but first we've got a few little things just to add to this leg because it doesn't make any sense at the moment. So what we're going to do, they've got claws, these sloths, so we're going to put a little shape like that, just very thin shapes. They don't have to be too sharp, these claws, but that is its other leg. I know it's a bit confusing at this stage, but that's its other leg wrapping its claws around the tree, and this is its hand. So you've got two really easy shapes there. They're like little rows of shapes, almost like little sausages all lined up. And then you can continue the tree trunk down, and you can see its other leg is gripping onto there, and its hand, its right arm, is gripping onto that tree. So I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope you're following so far. So now the other arm, this is going to be extended. It's going to be reaching out. Now on the elbow, instead of doing the funny little round shape, I'm just doing 3 little bits of fur to show that it's quite a furry creature. I'll put a little bit of shade there and a little bit of shade there just to make it pop out that little bit. Amazing what those little lines can do. Now that's the forearm. They've got quite long arms compared to the body and the legs, so you can make it even longer if you want. But you can see those little bits of fur just take the place of the elbow. It doesn't need anything else. It's a really simple way of drawing an elbow. So on the end of here, we're going to have some claws. So we're going to put a little N shape on the end of the wrist, and we're going to curve it round that shape. And it can be quite sharp there, so you can grip onto the tree and the branches. So just behind it, that saves us drawing another one. Just got a line, just follow those lines. They've got 3 claws, I think. They might have more, I don't know. I think it's 3. You probably know more about them than I do. So we're just going to have some branches off the tree here. Then you can carry on your tree trunk. A few little branches sticking off here and there. Let's have a practice at that. And you can see now, if it's something like this, he's gripping onto that tree. Now they've got like a lighter patch on the tummy, so you can colour that like a beige colour, or if you want to go crazy colours, it's up to you. Whatever colours you want to do. It can be blue if you want, it really doesn't matter. So I'm just putting some bits of shade under here. A lot of sloths are green because apparently they grow algae on their fur, so you can colour it a bit green if it's an older one. So because this pencil doesn't show up very well, I've managed to get myself a different pencil, which I'll show you in a minute. It shows the shading now then. The leaves, N shape. Another one next to it almost looks like a heart, or an M. Looks like an M, doesn't it? We're always using letters, shapes that we're used to, and a V on the end of the M. So if you do an M with a V underneath, it makes a pretty good heart, and it makes a pretty good leaf as well. I just overlap it a little bit, almost like our eyes, you know, the pair of eyes that we draw for people's faces. And you can do as many of these as you like on your tree. And you can't see much of the tree because the leaves are in the way, so again it saves you drawing complicated trees and all the boring stuff that you can't be bothered doing. But these are fun to draw. M with a V underneath, and that little bit separated down the middle like the stalk, or the vein down the middle of the leaf. M like these, and a V. That's it. Do loads of them, many as you want. Colour them green, whatever colours you want. That's what the sloth's after. He's after his lunch, so going after those leaves. So you just go crazy with those. Do as many as you want, all over the place. Just dot them everywhere. And for the tree, if you want to put a little detail, that's where the branch joins onto the tree trunk. I just put a couple of little lines. And again, it's nothing too complicated. There's a little knot in the wood that you see, knots in the wood, like a circle with some little lines around it. And it gives a little bit of texture to that tree trunk. It looks like bark, rough bark, just with a few little lines like that. And when you colour it in, colour it brown or whatever, then it's really going to stand out. Now, this is a really soft pencil. I've got this, I found it the other day, I forgot I had it, but it'll just show my shading a bit more clearly than that pencil that doesn't show up very well. So this will give you more of an idea before I get myself some coloured pencils, because I don't actually have any at the moment. Okay, so that's my tree trunk. Can be brown, can be any colour you like. You can do a slightly lighter brown if you want, because these are going to be brown. This little mask that the sloth has, and you don't want it clashing with your tree, so I use a slightly different shade, or lighter shade for the tree, just so that you don't lose the detail of your creature here. So colour it in whatever colour you like. And don't forget to put some shading with your darker pen. With a really soft pencil like this, you can sometimes rub the pencil with your finger, and it gives a little shaded sort of effect. And you can colour like that. But that's another technique I'll show you. So I'll be interested to see what you can come up with your sloth and how it looks. If you want to make it a little bit more feminine, you could also put some eyelashes. That's all it takes really to turn it into something a bit more feminine, if you want to draw it more feminine. So just again shade these in. If you want to put green on the leaves or red leaves, whichever you like, but always get your darker pencil or pens and just put that little bit of shade underneath it, make it look 3D. And there, hopefully you've got something like a sloth hanging on to a tree. Don't forget the important bit. That's the important bit. I know you've got your superstar signatures there that we're waiting for. So there's my sloth. Hope you've got something like it. Have another go. Look at these. Oh my goodness, these are scary. I think, you know, cute's one thing. These are a bit scary, so I hope it doesn't turn out like that. If it turns out better than this one, you're doing okay. Or that one. That is frightening. Frightening sloths. So, I mean, here's something very, very deranged about that one. I wouldn't trust him, and I wouldn't trust this one either. That looks scary. It looks so scary, in fact, that I might even put some fangs on it. Make it look even scarier. So you can have a play with that. You can do some crazy looking sloths as well once you get the basics. Okay. There's tongue sticking its tongue out at you. Not very nice. It's blushing a little bit. It's so embarrassed at its bad behaviour. So have a go. Try and do it better than mine. You know, that's a pretty poor attempt. I hope yours looks better than that. Send it in. Let's have a look. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think, what you'd like to draw. And you never know. I might even end up drawing you if you do some good work. You know who you are. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we're talking pugs tomorrow, maybe even spanners, who knows. So I'll see you then.